So now that we have Sass installed, how exactly do we use it? On this install page, it doesn't give us a lot of information. Hopefully in the future it will, but we can learn more by going to the documentation page. Now this has a lot of data on it, but if you scroll down to the Using Sass section, it tells us how to install Sass, and then it tells us how to run Sass from the command line. So there's a couple things we need to know before we move on to this step. The first is that we create our Sass in an scss file or an sass file, and then when we run the Sass command line tool, it will convert it to a .css file. So this is why we can use logic inside of our CSS. It's because it's its own file, and the whole purpose of the Sass tool is to convert that file into CSS, and then the CSS can be used in the browser. Now there's two ways that we can write our CSS. One is by using CSS syntax, and if we do that, we're going to name our file .scss, but then we can also use the Sass syntax. In general, it's most common to use scss because it's easier to learn and easier to read for people who are familiar with CSS but not Sass. With a lot of teams that you might work on, there will be people who don't necessarily have the same experience with Sass as you do, and using the scss syntax will be helpful to them. Another thing that this means is that we can just use existing CSS files and just change the name to scss. So let's try that and then run this command line tool in order to convert it to a CSS file.